The letter is a letter that was written by Phoebe Byrne, to her son, Harry T. Byrne, who was a brand new legislator in 1920. He was 24 years old. He had just been elected to the legislature, and the suffrage the push to ratify the suffrage amendment was coming to a close. Suffrage leaders had 8 states to choose from, and they thought Tennessee was the best bet. And they had a lot of supporters, and they had a lot of people who were extremely hostile. And it's not dated, but it has a postmark on it of August the 17th, 1920. And the vote was just, I think it was August 20th, just a short time later. The state Senate had approved the ratifications. It was like 25-4. I mean, it was really strong. The governor was for ratification, and the House was where it was a tie. It was really a seesaw, about 49-49 votes. So a couple of people changing positions could really tip the balance. Harry was 24. He was studying law. He was just getting a start in life, and his mother was a widow. He had his mother and a brother and sister back in Nyota, Tennessee, that's where their home was. So he was in Nashville as a very newbie in the state legislature, and had to deal with this really complicated question. He was reading law with a man who came out as extremely anti-suffrage, and he was unwilling to take a stand. They thought he was kind of an either-or. They just weren't sure, but they thought he was maybe going to vote no. He got this letter, 6-page letter from his mother, right before the vote in August 1920, and it was a newsy letter. It's handwritten on a tablet with 6 pages of written in pencil, and in the course of the letter, it wasn't just about politics. It wasn't just to ask him to vote for suffrage, but in the course of the letter, she twice asked him to vote for suffrage. I particularly like this passage right here where she says, "Hooray and vote for suffrage and don't leave them in doubt." I noticed Chandler's speech. It was very bitter. I've been watching to see how you stood, but have not seen anything yet. And Chandler was the man he was reading law with, who was also in the legislature. So he was really kind of in a pickle of a situation. When he came into the vote, there was a lot of parliamentary maneuvering the day that the final vote took place, and he voted in a way that looked like he was going to be a no vote until the final roll call was taken, and it was going to be a close loss or a tie or a win, and they really didn't know until he voted aye. And when he voted yes, then they got really hopeful, and there was one other vote that at the end of the alphabet that they had to get. And when that man voted yes, it was pandemonium in the legislature. I like this little part of the letter right here. Towards the end of the letter, she said, "Don't forget to be a good boy and help Mrs. Thomas Cat with her rats." Is she the one that put the rat in ratification? Ha! No more from Mother, love Mother. And this was a cartoon that was going around at the time. Catherine Cat was the leader of the people pushing for suffrage. And she was in Nashville at the Hermitage Hotel, and the cartoon they were putting around the country, she had a broom chasing the RAT that was separated from the rest of the word ratification, and she was trying to shoe those together so that the ratification would happen. This was a really sweet letter. It was rumored that it had been destroyed because it was so folksy that they thought maybe people had said that they destroyed it because it wasn't really a formal letter written in ink and proper and all that, but it wasn't. And Harry Byrne's son, Harry T. Byrne Jr., wanted this letter to be put here so that people could have access to it and know that it did exist. And for a while people said it didn't exist. For a while people said that it never even was real or never written. So when the 75th anniversary of suffrage came around and people focused on Tennessee, we were able to bring it out and show people, yes, it really did exist, and we have it, along with all the other material that Harry saved about ratification. He was right in the center of the storm that day.